remember that song, Parents Just Don't Understand? Well, I'm going to start today by saying kind of the opposite. I think teenagers are hard to understand. What I want to talk to you about today is there are different seasons in your teenager's journey that, after spending a whole lot of time with teenagers, I've discovered that might help you kind of understand where they're coming from and get a little bit of a glimpse into their heart. So I want to talk to you about those 3 seasons today, and I want to ask you at the end of this video to consider what season your teenager is in right now. So hopefully this will help you, give you some clarity on what's going on in their life. So the first season is calm waters. By the way, these are all going to be sailing terms. The first season is calm waters. That means in your teenager's life, everything is going great. It's sunny, life is good, there's not really major issues, nobody's messing with them, there's no drama, and whether that season is a day, a week, or a month, everything seems to be going well. They're in a good mood at home, and everything seems to be fine. Well, what do you do as a parent in that season? If your teenager's in that season right now, one of the things you do to them is this is where you teach and encourage. You know, they're in good spirits, they're willing to listen. It's time now to lay some foundational stuff into their lives. So as the spiritual leader and as the parent who is seeking to guide their teenager spiritually, look for those calm water seasons to be able to lay down some real good biblical truth that they might actually be able to hear. Now, the second season is choppy waters. Now, I use this to describe a teenager who is quiet. You know, sometimes silence is not a good thing. It may make your house quiet, it may give you a chance to relax a little bit, but if your teenager isn't talking, that's probably because they're thinking, or they're worrying, or they're afraid. And this happens a lot in the life of a teenager. Sometimes they're yelling and screaming, sometimes they're happy and smiling, but it's when they're quiet that you need to begin to help them and guide them and begin to, this is the key word, pursue them. When choppy waters come along, you pursue. Now, I know common sense would say, well, why don't I just give them space? Why don't I let them have room to figure it out? Well, you know what? This is one of those times where your teenager really needs your help, but has no idea how to ask for it. Now, I want to be clear here. I'm not telling you to over pursue. I'm not telling you, if they tell you, I don't want to talk or I need space, you can and should honor that. But that doesn't mean you don't come back the next day and say, hey, I can tell something's going on. How can I pray for you? Is there something I can do for you? I can just see in your heart. I can see it in your eyes. Something's happening. Will you please let me in? It's so important for your teenager, even though they're not telling you, they look to you as a safe place. And it's so important for you to at least make that effort to pursue them in the choppy waters. So the final season is the storm. Now, this storm can come in many different formats. It could be your teenager bringing a storm into their life by making bad decisions. It could be your teenager bringing a storm into your life by being angry and being loud and screaming and having bad mood swings and going crazy inside of your house. But when there's a storm season, this is a time to offer hope. Because usually the teenager's made a bad mistake or the teenager is feeling out of control. And it's time for you, instead of matching their emotion, as they elevate their emotion, you need to lower yours as much as possible. Stay as calm as you can, be a gentle presence to them, speak in almost as soft as a whisper. And don't just give them consequences, even though that is part of the process of being a parent, but we know that. Don't just give them consequences though, also offer them hope. Say something like this, hey, you got a speeding ticket. That's not okay. We told you, you gotta be more careful while you're driving. So the consequence for that is you're gonna have to go, I'm gonna take your keys for a week. This is where you offer hope though, but I believe in you. You're not an expert driver. I'm not expecting you to be perfect. So if you'll be humble in your consequences and just kind of let this week ride out, we'll give you these keys back and we'll just start over again, learning from the mistake you made. you see how that gives them a chance to ramp back up into life without having that guilt and feeling horrible about themselves? So it's important in that stormy season that you make sure to offer hope. Now, I remember at the beginning of the video, I told you I would ask you, what season is your teenager in now? I'd like for you to take some time and think through that, and not just figure out what season your teenager's in, figure out how you're gonna respond. Are you gonna teach and encourage? Are you gonna pursue? Or are you gonna offer hope? Good luck as you sail along these seas with your teenager.